There, what are some of the common mistakes that you feel PhD students should avoid during their journey from start to the finish?
Uh, Probably the most common mistake is not listening to the supervisor, what they advise and what they say. Don't be frightened to discuss things with the supervisor, but it's like your supervisors there. They were the one that came up with this proposal for the PhD project, so they have an idea of how it should go. They have the experience. They can tell you what to do, how to do things. So you should listen to them. Second is, when you're looking at papers and what's been done before, seems to be a bit of a consensus that if it's more than 10 years old, publication, it's irrelevant. Don't accept that. Be willing to go back and look at papers that are 20 to 30 years ago, because you can actually find things that people actually may have started working on similar to the project you're doing. And they ran into problems, and you can see what those problems were, and that can, you may have had an idea of doing things in a certain way. People have tried it, it didn't work, and it's like, oh, okay, I won't waste my time. But they can also give you ideas of things that maybe you should look at, so you want to do that. You should always get advice from people, but make sure it's advice from the right people. Don't start talking to people that have absolutely no concept about the project and try to get them to advise you on what you should do and what you shouldn't do. So with that, make sure that when you're doing your project, you plan properly. You plan the experiments properly. You know why, you know what to do and how to do it. There's a phrase that lack of planning equals cock up. People use that, and it's true. If you don't plan properly, you can end up doing things that you shouldn't. It's like, oops, I haven't done the right controls in this experiment. You can do a whole series of experiments and then realize you haven't done the right controls. Without that, all the results you have are totally meaningless. So you've got to make sure you have all the necessary groups or things that you need to look at, and you're going to do it in the right way. If you're going to make some measurements, make sure you're using the machine correctly. You're not doing things with the machine that is not technically possible. But then again, your supervisor will know this, or if he doesn't, he will put you in contact with people that can help you. Okay, I'm not sure of this particular technique, but it's something we need to do. You need to go and speak to these people. They're the experts here, and get their advice, and then come back to me and tell me what it is they suggest, and then we take it from there. And again, as I said before, try to complete projects. Just don't do a few experiments. No, that's not working. Throw it to the side. Do a few more experiments. That's not working. Throw it away. You don't want to spend a lot of time doing stuff and have nothing to show for it. So try to organize it so it's like, okay, that's not working, but I need to just do one more experiment to finish it off. Make it a nice little complete story, because then that story goes into your thesis. Now, one of the other things that I didn't mention is that some theses are based on publications. We have that Aarhus University, they want you to put publications in. So you write a general introductory chapter, and then you have all your publications. Publications don't always include all the data that you produce.
Indeed.
For the publications. Now, you should make sure that that other data that's not in the papers actually goes into your thesis, doesn't get left in the drawer. You can put it in an appendix, but some institutions don't accept appendices. But in the introductory chapter, which is a summary, you probably have a summary of the results section. You can actually put all that data in there. So you're demonstrating, hey, I got this publication, but I did a hell of a lot of work to get there.
Yeah.
And so that's it.